So this particular ride is a city ride, followed by some industrial gravel, and I'm solo. But this isn't the ride that even got me thinking about this topic. I can also add I'm riding what everybody I think would identify as a gravel bike. On some of my very varied and fun rides last week, which I'll get into, I was thinking about how Strava has added the categories like gravel ride, mountain bike ride, and how many of my rides don't fit neatly in any of those boxes. How marketers like to give a name to things so they can sell you stuff. And yeah, people like to feel a part of something, and just all that stuff in general, including the YouTube algorithm and niching down and making very specific kind of content. And how defying that stuff could be very, I think, very cool and very fun, but also could have, I don't know, some slightly negative consequences. So on Friday, I was riding to the University of Akron to do a surprise engagement shoot. Not my usual thing, but an alumni in the Alumni Association, who's a good client, hooked me up with it. So that part of the ride on my Franken bike, my 96 Team Marin, 90s bike, drop bar conversion type deal, was a commute, right? But by the time I was done, it was time for Akron Bike Party, which is a totally chill, no drop, under 10-mile-an-hour group ride. So yeah, there'd really be no single definition to what kind of ride that is. I got paid, and then I went and met a bunch of friends and went for a chill ride, and then we had some beers after, and then I went home. So an awesome Friday night basically. And the bike, originally built it as that kind of gravel conversion, then used it as a touring bike, and now it's just kind of a light gear hauler, more or less. So all of it defies any kind of normal, neat little box. On Saturday, I took the Marin out again because it already had my tools and everything on it, and I was going to Porch Rocker, which is like a neighborhood festival where bands play on different porches all day. A lot of fun. So, you know, I wanted warmer clothes for later. I was going to be out all day, so just a fun bike ride, and that was pretty much it. Then I was thinking of my Saturday ride. Was it even just a ride? Met up with some friends down in the valley, rode down there. They were heading all the way to Cleveland. I didn't have time for that. Erin joined us in Peninsula. Me and her looped around doing her own ride. Then we stopped back at her house where she was stopping. We actually took a nap. We were both tired. Then I got on my bike, rode over to my parents' house. They were having a back-to-school celebration for the nieces and nephews. Well, their grandkids, my nieces and nephews. So, hung out there, had dinner, played some games, all that kind of stuff. And then I rode the 10 miles back to my house. I titled the ride Sundo Metric Hundo because it was a metric century altogether. But I guess you could define that however you want. So not super serious, but something fun to think about. How much gravel do you need to ride to make it a gravel ride? Or mountain biking. When I ride 30 miles of bike trails to do 8 miles of mountain biking, what kind of ride is that? And how long of a break can you take to have it be the same bike ride? Let me know. I don't know. Like I said, just a goofy thing kind of to think about, but stuff people do, and I do. So I'd say a few things that could be more negative about that are when you get the people who feel like they have to just be a certain category all the time. You know, why are you riding that drop bar bike at the mountain bike park? You know, go the other way with someone on the road. Why are you riding your mountain bike down the path? I don't know. All that kind of stuff, which I think is more negative, thinking you have to dress a certain way or do a certain thing to be a cyclist. Do it all. Do whatever you want. Don't even call yourself a cyclist if you don't want to. I'm never going to make fun of someone for wearing kit, lycra, spandex, if that's what makes them feel comfortable riding their bike. Well, the one exception, wearing your helmet when you're drinking like your coffee or your beer. That's a weird roadie thing. I don't get it. Just kidding. But yeah, really, why though? Oh, here's another one. Getting mad at me for riding abandoned train tracks. They're abandoned, dude. They're all rusty. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking about this because too, with the way YouTube and the digital algorithm world works, you know, a lot of people now watch the videos who have no association. They'll watch one video, they've never seen a different video. They don't know who I am. nothing about the personality or the kind of stuff I ride. So like a specific example is when we did the ride down in the country that I titled Ohio's Best Gravel Ride, which is clickbaity, but I think we backed it up pretty well because it was the best gravel ride in Ohio I've ever done. But, you know, I get someone on there, they're like, don't you gravel guys ever wish you just had a hardtail mountain bike? So I'm not offended by the gravel guy term at all. I mean, I ride my gravel bike more than anything else because it makes sense, but the channel is probably 10% gravel, or my rides are at least. Maybe the video percentage is higher because it's probably more interesting than boring sitting riding, but as mentioned, a regular viewer would know we ride everything. Yeah, but my response to that question was, no, I don't wish I was on, for this specific ride, a modern geometry hardtail with front suspension, but I do wish I had chosen my gunner instead, which is more of an ATB. It's non-suspension corrected, sleep bar 55mm tires. And then I got a comment last week about one of my videos about bike packing being way too much talking for the guy or girl. But I think that was kind of funny too, because I just did a live stream about how I'm not going to stop making just like 90s skate style music videos of my bike rides, because even though they do less good than the subject videos, I think they're a lot of fun and I enjoy making them. And I know there's people who like watching those kind of videos too. So all this to say, it's not a complaint really about anyone specifically, or even those two people I just kind of picked on, but just to say that, like, I think it goes both ways. One is fun because the way the algorithm just serves people like topics that they might like, I think it gives me a little more freedom to do whatever I want. You know, everyone's not expecting the same kind of video all the time. But yeah, everyone brings their own experience to cycling and to, you know, stuff like YouTube and Instagram in general, which I think could often be really positive. And on this channel, it's overwhelmingly positive. I love it when someone who's been mountain biking forever finds one of my videos about a certain place and then gives me the whole background and tells me some history about that, or just mountain biking specific. So it's really beneficial when it's like that. The fact that the algorithm does do a good job of serving people that, you know, the videos they think they want to watch, whether they subscribe or not. I say it can be a little annoying when somebody who's never seen anything else you does just like pigeonholes you and assumes since they're all one way that you must either be the opposite of that or the same as that, you know. But yeah, as you guys know, this channel has vintage bike videos, it has gravel videos, it has new mountain biking videos, and it'll city riding videos. It's always going to be a mixed bag, and because that's the way I ride, and so I'm going to make videos about what I do. So yeah, don't feel a need to ever be defined. If you go and like you love riding road, don't let other roadies convince you you have to have some $10,000 bike. You most definitely don't. If you race gravel, you don't have to have the latest and the greatest gravel bike. There's all kinds out there. Save a lot of money by going used. There's good second-tier group sets and stuff like that now as well. And then mix up the ride you're on, you know. Everything doesn't have to be one thing or another, as we're about to prove here when we hit the gravel next. I've also said before, I'm not crazy about the term gravel bike, but it's what's stuck, and we all know roughly what it means. You know, it's a broad category, but so is mountain bike. And when you do ride a mountain bike, it doesn't mean you're up in the mountains. We all understand that. When you ride a gravel bike, it doesn't mean you have to hit the gravel. I just think it's the bike that gives me the chance to ride the most different terrain and be the most comfortable on, you know. Unless you're doing something really specific, certain kind of mountain biking, just at the mountain bike trail, a certain kind of fast road riding, I feel like the gravel bike is just that great bike for being able to do everything good enough. I also kind of like the term ATB and even alt cycling. I think alt cycling a lot because I feel like that just encompasses a not quite definable different category. So that's a term I think I'll be using more and more. Like I call the gunner an ATB. I don't know, I guess it's a bike packing bike or something, you know, like that, but whatever. Like I said, terms, they don't matter totally, but they do give us an idea and a way to express stuff. Like I said, a gravel bike, I say that, you have an image in your mind. It probably doesn't look that different than the one I'm riding right now. So what do you guys think? Do categories or terms matter at all? Do you only ride one kind of thing? Do you only ride one kind of thing on each specific ride? Or do you mix it up in general? I don't know. Yeah, let me know all your thoughts. And yeah, see you in the next one.